Again. My name is Ann Gass. I'm a candidate for Maine House District 104, which includes all of New Gloucester and kind of Northwest Gray. I'm also the author of two books on women's fight for voting rights. And I've done a ton of research and writing and thinking about that history as well as women's fight for equality, which is ongoing. And it really troubles me to see the attacks on women now, the overturning of Roe v. Wade that eliminated, federal protections for abortion rights, and also just, hints that, well, maybe they're not going to stop there. I mean, there are states that are now challenging contraception, and there's at least some national figures in the Republican Party who've suggested that they would push for a bill that would outlaw contraception. And those things I view as direct attacks on women, because nowhere in any of this rhetoric do you ever hear any mention of men's responsibility in creating a new life. And so I am just unapologetically and unswervingly focused on supporting women's equality and women's reproductive rights. And so that's something else people should know about me.
What made you decide to run for office?
One was just seeing the discordance and polarization that's happening in the country, and being concerned about that. But really, it comes out of a love for my community. And that sounds a little bit trite, maybe, but I've lived in my town for 34 years and have done a ton of work at the local level. I have a lot of connections to the community. My kids were born there and raised there, and so I just feel like it's a great way to kind of work to build on, I guess, all the connections and the work that I've done in the community and give back.
Why did you decide to run as an independent?
So why run as an independent? I'm running as an independent because I honestly have never been a party person. I've never belonged to my town Democratic committee or the state or the national one. What I really love is doing the work in the community, working with people, sitting around a table, figuring out what is it we need, how much can we afford, how do we pay for it, how do we do it, and getting input from all sides to make that happen. For me, that's a blast. I love doing that work, and I really just don't care about the parties.
And what is your vision for a brighter future for your community?
There's lots going on in the town that I live in, and the district is now all of New Gloucester and part of Gray. I live in Gray. So I see, much more opportunities for people to come together to work on challenges, but opportunities also that the communities face. Like, how do we attract more businesses that can support the local property tax base? What kinds of services or programming do people want in order to make the town a more vibrant and exciting and fun place to live, and one where they can live with whatever services they need? I'm thinking about, it's a rural community, for example, and we have a lot of seniors who are talking about the need for transportation. I mean, that's a big challenge. We can't solve it all on our own, but how can we come together and put together solutions that work at the local level? And how can the state legislature help those local efforts?
And why are you the best candidate to deliver that future?
I always talk to voters about my community work, which is absolutely who I am and what I've spent literally thousands of hours doing over the last 30 some years. I've always been active at the local level in some way, shape, or form, volunteering in the schools, serving on the school board or the town council, lots of different town committees. I've done land conservation and trail building, bike and pedestrian safety planning. I mean, just a whole range of stuff. And so I have a lot of experience to draw on. And I've learned, I've certainly made my share of mistakes over the years. I hope I've learned from those. I'm trying to but I've also learned how to get things done and kind of how to work within the process to make things done and to challenge the process when the process doesn't work. And so I think for me that body of work and experience, and also just my positive can-do attitude is why I'm the right person to go to Augusta.
And what would you tell a voter who feels reluctant to vote for an independent candidate?
Honestly, I haven't met too many of them this year. I think people are kind of sick of the parties, and uh, but in my race at least, I'm a more progressive independent, and so there's no Democrat in the race. So if there's a Democrat who feels reluctant to vote for anything other than a Democrat, your options are myself or a very conservative Republican who has voted against women's equality multiple times, for example, and is anti-choice. And so those are your options. And for me, I mean, my taglines in my campaign are pragmatic, thrifty, independent. And I'm a pragmatist. If you want somebody more like me in office, vote for me, as opposed to clinging to your party. And yeah, I mean, I guess I'd say that's pretty much my answer to that.
Thank you, Anne. We're excited to produce the segment, get it out to your community through social media.